Good morning, everybody, for being here. Yes, we are having part two of creating new industries in Africa. I felt based on yesterday's what you call part one, maybe I need to go more deeper and just not present things on a surface and actually get a chance to take you more deeper, so some of you who are interested in becoming industrialist can actually start something of your own within your own country. Thank you. I can see we've got someone who's online. You can say hi if you want me to say hi back to you. Can see your name. Thank you for being here. As I promised yesterday, today I went all out. I said let me try to wake up early. Here it's around 6:15 Houston time. I think in South Africa it's in the afternoon. I think it's around 1 or something, or past 1 or 1:45, somewhere there. So I felt like today I should deny myself a sleep and actually get to go live during South African time, so that a lot of people can have access to information or type of information I actually want to share with you. And I'm very passionate about this topic called creating new industries in Africa, and I hope that you can actually able to take some few points that I'll be highlighting when I'm in creating new industry. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh man, we need to create our own internet of things and those kind of things. That's not what I'm saying. Yes, if that's your field of interest, you can actually tap into that, create something. It doesn't stop you from actually starting something or actually having a different paradigm how you present it. I was reading a book called The Science of Getting Rich. It said successful people are those who do things in a certain way. It mentioned nothing about product. It mentioned nothing about service. All right, I'm talking about that is not the product that makes you successful. It's actually how you do things. There are certain way of doing things. You know, if you are in the media sector, entertainment sector is me, especially sports industries, there are those people who work long hours after or before the practice. They get there and actually do more exercises. So it's not that they are playing a different game. They are playing the same game as everyone in the same industry, but they are actually doing more than what is required. All right, so our topic today, welcome everybody, it is creating new industries in Africa. So I am basically going to give you a definition, a Google definition of or a dictionary, a definition of industry. It says it's an economic activity concerned with processing raw materials and manufactured goods in a factory. So now I know most of you, they were thinking, oh no, in Africa we don't have such kind of infrastructure. We don't have factories where we can actually be more industrialized. Well, that's not true. If you are in sport, you have a football or a basketball or a netball or a jiva ground, that is your factory. That's where you actually get to produce your own content. All right, that's the space where you can actually take that content and put it on your digital networks and it goes viral. A perfect example, it's one of our musicians who've been making us proud, Master KG, who produced a track that actually behaved like a FIFA World Cup. It went global. It doesn't happen in the music industry, so it shows that everything is possible. Just be industrial, you know, be industrial in your sector, whether it is in agriculture, sports or arts, or the IT industry, tech industry. Any industry you are in, or is the teaching industry, is even one of the most booming industry, because you can just put anything online, a course online which is digitally. Someone in Ghana or someone here in Houston can access that material. So really there's no need for a person to travel to another country to try to acquire an education. So some of the things that will learn happen on YouTube and here on Facebook, Instagram, and many other social media platforms. All right. So now, as I explained, that an industry means that there has to be a raw material. Now, I just want you to open your mind so you can be a little bit broad about when I'm talking about raw material. In an industrial activities where the manufacturing, obviously you'll need a product. But in entertainment, raw material is your talent. You know, when you have a talent, speaking talent, singing, dancing, or drawing talent, that is a raw material. So now, how do I make sure I become an industrialist in that particular sector? Now you have to professionalize it. Okay, if it's a sport, you have to make sure it's a well-structured sport, is written properly, and those kind of things. And if it is a product, obviously you need a prototype of that product, or at least a sample if it's in the food industry of that product. Is the IT industry, you will need something about how that thing works, how that app or that technology works. Basically, that's what I am talking about. So as Africa now, we need to think of creating industry. We do not need to do what is currently available across the globe, because with the IT of things, the digital world, the Western world is actually leading us. But that doesn't mean we cannot break into the market and create something completely new from scratch. All right, I will give you an example that I invented a sporting code. It doesn't mean that there was no soccer when I was inventing Jiva, or there was no netball. There are those sporting codes, many of them, and some of them I might not be even aware of them. But I saw a gap in an existing industry, which was the dance industry, and I wanted to make it more professional and more profitable. So for you to actually become an industrialist, you need to look for gaps in existing industries or create something completely new. The fun part of it is that you become a pioneer in that particular industry, or you get to name or rename that particular industry. Those are the benefits of actually being a pioneer in the industry. You set the standard for the industry. All right, people know quality because you say it's quality. You know that you are the one who create the standards, and you know what are the limitations or the parameters that you can create for someone to know that now this is quality assurance type of product. All right, in sports, if you're in sports, you might be asking yourself, well, how do I make sure that my sporting code actually has those qualities of quality assurance, because it is not a product like your food product? Well, you can still apply the same processes also in sports and art. There is a certain type of quality. When I hear Black Coffee's music, I know it's Black Coffee. All right, I know anything other than that, it's something else. I know the music of Black Coffee, I know Master KG. There's a certain things that I expect or actually get to notice when I listen. I don't even have to watch a music video. I just know through the sound and how the lyrics are arranged that this is Master KG, this is Kim Munada, and all those kind of things. So that is what I'm talking about, quality assurance. For Zain, you are in the what we call it, car wash industry. You have your quality standard. Someone can say, well, how do I know? You know, you can tell them like, look, we clean your car to the core. We actually get to rip out everything, and we clean the seats and everything, go deep. We don't just only deal with the outer side of the body of the car. So we need to be more industrial and all that. I will stick to the secondary product is basically just taking a raw material, your talent, your idea, into a proper, well-packaged product, whether as a form of a prototype or a demo, or just a real product. If it is in the food industry or if it's in the fashion industry, you will need at least a sample of that jersey or that sneaker and those kind of things. All right, so in Africa we are capable. We have done this before. All right, we have produced house music. It's one of the best genres or industries that we created in Africa. We have Kwaito. I think they dropped the ball a few decades back, and now I am like, if Kwaito was harnessed or well structured the way they did it with hip hop, imagine what those guys, they could have been far. We'll be talking about Buspiki at the level of Jay-Z and all that, but they dropped the ball because they were not thinking like industrialists. That's the mind. We already have the talents in our country. We have inventors. We've got amazing people who are producing good things. The problem is that we are not thinking like industrialists. We are not thinking distribution. We are not thinking economies of scale, that we produce something, we export it to the world. All right, we can say, all right, but we have athletes in our country that perform at the Olympics level. Well, those sporting codes were not invented in South Africa. All right, so that is why it's impossible for us to be the best of the best in the club, because we are the consumers of that product. We didn't develop the standards. All right, you might even look at a certain type of sporting coat and be like, why do they need to run 5 times? I mean, what the hell? They should have just, added a little bit of jump and added a little bit of this, so that these can be more competitive or more let me say entertaining. But because we did not design or invent that sporting code, we don't get to say what needs to be changed or cannot be changed. Only the people who own the prototype or the copyright or the trademark of that particular product can add or remove or edify it to what they want it to achieve. So that's the power of thinking like an industrialist. So there's this myth that usually business experts in our country are creating, is that for us to have, and when we talk about industrialist, it has to be in manufacturing or it has to be in agriculture, those kind of things. That, I'm telling you, it is not helping us. We cannot be in agriculture and mining only. The entertainment industry as a whole, when I'm saying entertainment, I mean your arts, sports and culture, have more opportunities that are untapped. Africa as a whole, it's a youthful continent, but we are producing less millionaires and billionaires in the entertainment industry, merely because we are not creators of the they call it, what in politics they say it's a means of production. So when they're talking about the means of production, they actually meaning that having ownership of the whole ecosystem of an industry and actually export it to the other country. The profits come back to that particular country because that's where the head office is. That is why they are leading us in everything we do. That's why when you come here in the US, you check the entertainment industry, you can see people take everything very seriously, from awards, many things like an award, I know you can say, but it's an annual thing, but they take everything very serious, to clothing and those kind of things. So I think as Africa, we already have the talent. We just need to think like industrialists. We already had people who have drum. We've got Mapiano. Those things can give hip hop a run of its money for decades to come if we had well organized structures that can make sure they push and they market it. There's nothing special about hip hop, no offense to those who love it, but I believe Mapiano, drum, Kwaito, house music can actually show it flames if we had a form of an industry body that is dedicated to making sure that the music get produced and support the artists or whatever they name them in that particular industry. All right, now someone can say, like, now I have a product, I've created my demo, or I've created my prototype, or I've got my sample. I don't know, in fashion you call it a sample or what, but I have that. Then what happens next? I think that's the part that everyone don't talk about. You have a product, it's just 1% of the work. It doesn't matter if it took you 10 years to create the product or 20 years to create it, but when you have a product, you are at a much better a situation than someone who's just saying, I'm thinking of something big. When you have a prototype, you are killing it. You actually having a product that you can start building what we call a business model around it. When you have a product, you can start testing business models. It can be your a retail model, can be a retailing model. You can steal something from the sports industry or adapt something like that, just to make sure that your product only is not being consumed in South Africa. Whether it's an entertainment thing, it doesn't matter, but globally. How do you do it? You need also to choose a proper business model for that. All right. In sports, with Jiva, I used to check out your football, your basketball, your rugby. How do they do it? But those models, because of the digital world, they are becoming absolute, not meaning that they don't have to go to the ground and perform, but how the product is distributed has changed. I don't need some multi-billion dollar TV deal. It can be on live right now. We have an arena, we can have a Jiva tournament, we distribute it through YouTube and many other social media platforms. People watch adverts, will actually flock to that particular video or that broadcast. So that's basically like that. What was the problem in Africa is that we know we can create a Goom genre, a Goom. There was some time where it went international or global. We have the music from Limpopo. They are doing an amazing thing. They are taking it global. But what matters is that for it to be consistent year in, year out, you need to turn that thing into an industry where there is a process. This is a song, this is how it sounds, we sound like this in this genre, this is the sound, then this is the distribution platforms. We need to support it with merchandise, we need to support it with events and those kind of things. So this is what is needed in Africa. So Africa is a very youthful continent. There's no need for us to be still fighting, joining strikes that we are fighting to work in a mine. I was watching, let me tell you something very scary. I was watching a video of the story about Elon Musk. I think everyone knows him. I like him. It's a Cancerian. I'm a Cancer too. So I discovered, or when I was watching that video here on YouTube, they actually said there is more gold in the galaxy than is here in Africa. So imagine that some billionaire actually put money into that and they eventually get an opportunity to harness that gold. It doesn't matter now. It won't matter that South Africa has gold or diamond or anything, because they can get the minerals anywhere across the galaxy. And this thing, it's getting to a point where it is possible that they can start mining the minerals somewhere outside the planet Earth. So we cannot be sitting there and waiting for the mining industry to carry us as Africa. We need to start inventing things, whether it's sports, whether it's just the education system, doing it differently. Our governments need to be putting their budget into the access of internet connection. That's all what we need. If we have the internet connection, we've got the 8 billion market. We can access it very easily. The problem is that you create a website, you create a product, but no one in our country can afford to be online to actually consume those products or those digital platforms. So that's all what should be on the manifesto of any political party. It's not only in South Africa, across the globe. If you're not talking about internet access or actually improving the quality of the internet access, I am telling you, my friend, you are voting for the wrong party. There is nothing that the government can do for us here. I was talking on my last video that people here, they are successful because private people fund them. Okay, I thought there was some government waiting with a bag of money and saying, hey, American, you have a great idea, here's the money. It doesn't work like that. It's private citizens who are millionaires. Some of them are just the working class. They've got 100,000 to risk and invest in their daughter's idea or son's idea, and that thing actually goes global. It's a family support thing, it's a community support thing. All right, So some of the billionaires, you see, they actually go back to their communities, and here they even create shows like your Shark Tanks and all those kind of things to make sure that people pitch. Here there was another one in HCC for business. I think you get to win around $10,000. You need such kind of things where these people who have money or who have extra 100,000, instead of buying I'm not saying wearing expensive clothes to South African is wrong. I'm saying that sometimes you just need to take that 1 million or 100,000 and risk and divide it into 10, which is 100,000, and invest it in different business. Give some guy in IT, in fashion, in sports, in different sector. Not all of them are going to fail. I guarantee you 50% of them, they will go through. All right, but remember, this is the money that you were going to drink in some nice club with your friend and drink expensive alcohol. So even if you lose it, it makes no difference. You could have blown it in one night, but you gave some entrepreneur an experience. All right, so basically that. And now you have the product, you have the business model, you don't have the money. All right, you've spent your last money, your last 3,000 or your last 10,000. You created an app or you created something new. You have a prototype now, you've got a logo, you registered it at CPIC. It's actually 350 to register a trademark, secure the name and the watermark of your product. Now you want to go out there. How do you do it? Simple. You don't need some funding, because if you're going to sit with a product at home waiting for some guy in NYDA or some organizations to respond and saying you have an amazing idea, there are thousands of them out there. Okay, they hear this thing all the time, so that's why they don't have the sense of agency to respond to your issues immediately. You go to the internet like I do, DJ Sbu is doing it, many others are doing it. You make noise. All right, but the most important thing for you to succeed or actually survive the hustle stages of your business life is to do something that you love. Whatever you invent, it must be in the field of your interest, so that you can last 10 years. It takes that long years, but immediately you succeed, it will cover all those years. It will be like you've always worked all your life while people were earning salaries for 10 years. You will actually surpass them, I don't know how many thousand times, because now you are an entrepreneur, you are making money, you are actually participating in the economics of scale, you are in the global game. You right, you invented something, you are the pioneer, you are the one who get to decide what are the standards, you are the one who get to decide who gets disciplines or not. You actually invent those systems, you invest in that, you go on social media, you make noise until SABC or someone give you a platform to talk about your product. All right, so it's basically that. The problem in Africa is not invention, the problem in Africa is not funding. We need to forget that the issue is funding. There was someone who was saying you start, you hustle with the bad logo, substandard prototype. You just start, you make noise. You know, I am telling you, for some reason you will end up getting someone who's willing to invest in you, whether take you through a program where you can actually up your entrepreneurship skills, or actually giving you the money to do something. There are a lot of opportunities. You don't need to check in South Africa. I thought I was going to succeed in South Africa. My government was going to call me that you are the best then a sports designer, you've done it for 10 years, come to Department of Sports here. They don't care. They hear many people sending them proposals. I doubt even if they read them. All right, so what you need to do, and do yourself a justice, get a prototype. If that thing you can't create it, it's like an entertainment, make a demo. Music people understand that very well. Make a demo, put it on social media. Some of you don't even need a deal, you just put it on social media, it goes viral. All right, we're not going to succeed the same, so there's no need to be writing. Someone saying I need a business plan, not really. You really don't need a business plan to start. But obviously in future, when you're starting entering shows like your Shark Tanks and all that, you will need it. You can do it for funding purposes, but I don't feel that it should be the reason why you should not start. I don't advise you to take your 10,000 to pay someone to type a business plan for you. What you need to do is to take that 10,000, put it in a demo or a prototype on Illustrator or something that is digital, so that you can be able to sell your product online. That's all what you need, the name and the logo. You go out there and make your noise. Okay, that's where your funding is gonna come from. And besides, now we have stuff like your crowdfunding. You know, crowdfunding, you can get money from other private investors. It doesn't have to be the bank or your government, who are willing to invest in your idea, who believe in your idea. I'm actually doing a lot of research about it, and that's why I was able to change the model of Projiva League, that it must be managed or be run or owned online. And it's nothing new that I'm doing. JS is doing it. All right, soccer is already doing, basketball is doing it. That model that you see in soccer is not different like a model that Uber is implementing. It's the same thing, the different products. You can take the Uber model, apply it to your product. All right, that's why I'm saying having the product is the first step, is the dopest thing you can ever have, because when you go make noise to government on social media, you have a product. Why DJ Sbu is able to get out there and push his product? He has it. He can hold it in his hand. It doesn't matter if you have just only 10 of them or 2 of them. It makes no difference. We just want to see, oh, there's an energy drink, or this is how it looks like. So if I were to support you, I know how it looks like. That's where the logo and the name thing matters. So you can't just have an idea which just flying in the air. You need to have the branding of it. So take your 10,000 or your 1,000. Do not give it to someone to write a business plan for you. Invest in a product. That's what you need. Okay, because I know a lot of people, they get a side hustle. They have their 10,000 and they're gonna invest it in some expert who's trying to write a business plan. Which business plan? You don't even have a product. All right, you must have a product in your hand, a quality product. And then now you're thinking of, how should I market this thing? What's the name of this thing? Or should I use my surname, or should I use my middle name? Should I use my clan name, Taucha Kai? You know, those kind of things. So you think like that. You start thinking along the line. I didn't come up with Jiva the first time I thought about it 15 years ago. It came later. While now I have this pudding coat, I'm like, man, we have soccer. When am I gonna call this thing? Then I went for a popular name that was used in South Africa, which was Jiva. I went to CPIC and registered the trademark. Then now I'm confident to go to the world and make noise. Why? No one can actually take me to court to say, no, you don't understand, chief. I'm the one who invented Jiva. You know, I can actually now back up my things and actually now start to open social media pages and push my own thing. Eventually someone said, look, you are good at what I do, apply for something like this. That's where I end up. And I believe after this I am going up, because I chose to think like an industrialist. I didn't want to be on TV just dancing. I wanted to be the one who create the opportunities. So Africa is rising. Africa is the best. Africa has the market. All right, we're going to like double our population, and most of us are young people. So there's no way you can fail in the entertainment industry. Africa has what it has, and we have the market. That's what is important. I wish our politicians and private investors can invest in the connectivity of Africa. If we can be connected, I am telling you, there's no product that will fail. We have in fact invented our own music. In Nigeria, they have a bongo music. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, forgive me, Nigerians, but I am saying we have something like that, and that product is going global. We see these guys doing amazing things globally. So that's why I'm saying that we need to debunk the myth that industrialization is about mining and agriculture and closing talented people outside this type of framework. When Department of Trade and Industry in South Africa, when they talk about industrialists, they must also include musicians. They must include guys who draw some stuff. They must include dancers, everyone in that particular industry who can take a raw product or a raw material, With us, it's nice. You actually get born with your with your talent. If you can dance, if you can play sports, that's your talent. That's your raw product. You are an entrepreneur. You are an industrialist. If you can invent a sporting coat, that is a product. You don't need a carrot or a tomato for you to be an industrialist. You don't need to create a new sneaker to be an industrialist. It's a myth that only factories are the factories that have a roof. A sports ground is a factory. A basketball ground is a factory. A music studio is a factory. All right, we need to start debunking these things. We are not going to be using 19600 definitions of things. When we talk about factories, we must now start telling them this. When they come and we say factory, a studio is a factory. You are manufacturing your music there. There is a manager and you are creating jobs. It's yourself and other people there who are actually helping you to edit that kind of product. So a studio, it's a factory. A sports ground, whether it's a jiva ground, is a soccer ground, is a factory. That's why you deserve to be funded and be recognized as an industrialist. We need now to just think differently. That industrialization has everything to do with the old type of factories where there's machines making noise and all that kind of things. You know, being able, your car is a factory. You actually get there and deliver someone and be paid for that. You know, you are actually manufacturing a service out of your car. So we need now as Africa to think above and actually get to compete on a global level. But now we need to be think global. We need to start seeing ourselves as industrialists in all sectors of the economy. It's not the IT industry who's able to create which should be recognized as industrialist, or the agriculture. We in the entertainment also are industrialists. All right, so this is what I have for you today. If you feel you need more information, but let me just break down the 4 steps. First of all, you work hard to get a prototype. All right, whether you call it a demo or a sample. In fishing, I think they call them samples. In sports, we create a demo. It's like we're musicians because it has to be a video. People need to know how the sport is going to be played. All right, and then that's the first part. If you get that part right, my friend, you're winning. 2, you brand it. You think of the name, the colors, your watermark or whatever. You don't even have to have a watermark these days. Just the name of your company is enough. It's a logo. All right, then 2, you need to come up with a business models. You can take the KFC business model and apply it to your music. There's no need that you are forced to go through the record label. You can do anything. You can take the Spotify type of business model. You can take the Uber type of model and tweak it to apply it to your type of product. All right, the business model part is the most essential and the easiest one, because there are already thousands and thousands of working models that are out there. Uber, Facebook, YouTube, and other social medias. Those are business models you can apply. All right, then the 4th one is promoting it. You go out there. You don't need to wait for some funding from anyone. That is a spirit of blockage. You are blocking yourself because you're waiting for someone's grace in some department to respond to your proposal or your business plan. All what you need to do, you don't even need a business plan. You get on social media like Sbuda, DJ Sbu, you make noise. Use any means anyhow. Okay, any means anyhow, as long as it's legal. All right, there is no one who is going to arrest you for screaming a lot about your product. I wake up, I talk about jiva. Whether you are annoyed or not, you have an opportunity to block me. But I am not going to stop telling you about jiva, because I know on your timeline there is my investor or my customer, and I am going to get him or her come rain or sunshine. Anyhow, however, I will promote. I don't need a fancy advert to actually start doing something. Remember, you start, then the investors come. You start, the investors come. Thank you everybody for being here. I'm in Houston. Soon, or maybe in a few months, I'll be back home. I'll be excited to actually go live in Centurion, where I stay. Big up at Johannesburg, Centurion, Pretoria, Limpopo, Skukune, Jane Fest, Ghana, Nigeria, Botswana, Malawi, Namibia. Thank you guys for supporting me. Please don't forget to also go on YouTube to like the channel or to subscribe to the channel called Revelation Power Hour. That's where I post these videos. Thank you very much for supporting me. I know in South Africa is an afternoon, here is in the morning. I actually woke up around 5 o'clock so that I can catch you guys while it's still during the day in your country. I think in Ghana it must be 2 o'clock or somewhere there. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate this. I am going to post the third part of the creating new industries in Africa. I can try to actually now go deeper and go through each level and just stick to what is a prototype and how one can create one in a different industries. All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.